No pre-show today.
Wait, you didn't. Oh, that's not fair. He didn't count me down. He normally counts. I wasn't.
I was the one talking. You should have counted me down.
But you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is Tuesday, May 20th. I had to look at my phone because I'm losing track of dates.
It's crazy. It's the end of May.
I know, but it's not quite the end of May because somebody has a birthday on the last day of May. So it's not quite the end. Because that day I know.
That would be me.
That would be you.
That would be me. I had a lot of May birthdays.
So I was the sappy girl when I met Seth. I was 14 when we met.
Seriously? We're going to tell stories?
We are. So his birthday, I didn't want to just give him a birthday card. So it was also a graduation card because he was graduating. But yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You lie.
I totally remember. It was a graduation card.
I just said it was a graduation card.
Well, that doesn't mean I didn't remember it. I remembered your mom.
This is the first thing she said to me. Long time ago.
I probably said, "Can I help you?"
Nah.
Or something, and you stepped up to the table.
Nah.
Name, something like that.
Yeah, something rude like that, and made me fall in love with you in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, nobody ever accused you of good taste in men. I'm just saying.
Says the man I married.
Although, nobody good taste in men.
Anyway, good morning. I'm Tammy.
I'm Seth.
And we are the 4031 family.
Part of it anyway.
And we're really glad that you are here with us today, whether it be live right now at 9:32 Central.
Dum dum dum.
Or if you're watching back later, we're just really glad that
they're live at 7:32 Pacific.
They're not watching us live while we're talking. So hence if you're not watching us live, we're really glad you're here and watching us and that you've stuck around this far. And hopefully you've got 27 more minutes to hang in there.
I'm confused.
I can tell.
It's early.
It is. It's not. I mean, it's been a long morning for him.
It's been a long day already.
You want to jump in? Or you want to
Sure.
talk about something?
Well, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I already talked about giving you a birthday card long time ago.
Well, it was a graduation card. See, I don't remember, apparently.
I mean, didn't I just say it was a birthday card?
Again, just because you just said it doesn't mean I didn't remember it.
Obviously.
Do I still have it?
No.
Because you store all my stuff.
I would not have stored something I gave to you in 1986 when you were leaving for college. I wouldn't have kept something I gave to you. Did you keep it until 1997 when we got married?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Didn't I pass custody of that to you?
No.
No.
You didn't hang on to it for the 3 years until we talked again.
Well, so now we know why I don't have it anymore, at least.
It's apparently my fault.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I learned from. That's what I learned.
What?
Nothing.
No,
we did so good. No. We did so good yesterday.
We did?
Yeah, sort of straddling the line, and I was going to make a James Comey joke.
Oh.
Because it's the thing now to blame your wife.
Oh, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Well,
Good
she
morning.
even told him that it was something in, whatever.
Yeah, well.
We're not going to go there.
No.
Good morning.
Cut. Start over.
Yeah, this is the danger of doing stuff live. One, we're being held accountable because we've told people we'd be here every morning at 9:30. So we've got that accountability to
Actually
do
be
it.
here at 9:30 in the morning.
But yeah, we can't just cut out the things that maybe we wish we could.
How about I put it over here? Here. Does it look like I'm looking at the camera now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I'll put it over there and I'll read it over there.
Okay.
And that way it looks like I'm reading to the camera, which people I think would appreciate. Anyway, today we're going to... What?
Nothing.
Today we're going to do a devotion from the Institute for Creation Research's Days of Praise again. You can find the devotion at the link there on the screen, icr.org/DOP. You can have it sent to your email box. You can sign up to receive, when you sign up to receive it in your email box, they will also send it to you, send the print copy to you free of charge, as well as a full color magazine called Acts and Facts. I was hesitating because I don't know. It's not bi-monthly. It's not monthly. It's not bi-monthly. They're you get like 8 issues a year, I think. So whatever. Anyway, that's all free. So feel free to go do that.
And we don't receive anything from ICR from using their things or directing you to them. So we're just using it because it's a devotion we know, because Seth and 2 of our boys work there. So it's just something that we're comfortable with, but there's obviously no obligation to go there. It's just a great resource for all
and
things.
if you want to have it to follow along while we're talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're not putting the whole thing up on the screen, because that would be peeking. The only peeking, meaning ahead of time, meaning it wouldn't surprise us. The only thing that we do to prepare is make the slide with the verse on it and the title.
Yeah, and that's only just at the very, very top of the screen. We do not read ahead, as well you know.
Clearly. Right.
There are some mornings where it's pretty obvious.
It is pretty obvious.
Right.
But today's devotion is called The Righteous Man. It is by Henry Morris III, H3, who went to be with the Lord in 2020. He's greatly missed. From 1 John 3:7, he says, John, not Henry Morris, says, "Little children, let no man deceive you." And now when John says little children, he's not talking to children. He's talking as a father figure in the faith, so the people that he has brought into the way, as it was known at the time, brought into being disciples of Christ. That's who he's talking to, spiritual children. "Let no man deceive you. He that does righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous." Okay. There's an old spiritual song that has the phrase, I'm not going to try and do it phonetically, "Everybody talking about heaven ain't going there."
Everybody talking about heaven ain't going there. Okay.
That's a good summary statement, says Dr. Morris, of biblical truth and worth repeating. As our text puts it, the righteous man does righteousness. But there is more to this principle.
I'm still stuck on the song phrase. Everybody talking about heaven ain't going there.
Oh, sure. Lots of people talking about going to heaven don't.
But to say every is not.
No.
I'm confused.
It doesn't mean nobody who's talking about heaven is going there. It means out of all the people talking, not everybody's going. That's what it says. It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't say if you're talking about heaven, you're not going there.
Okay.
It says of all the people talking about heaven, a lot of them, not every one of them is going there.
Okay.
Is that your?
Yeah, but it doesn't say that.
It does. Everybody talking about heaven ain't going there.
Okay.
Everybody talking about going to church on Sundays is not going to show up. That doesn't mean nobody's showing up. It just means out of the group of people who are talking about
that full
going,
group isn't going.
yes,
Okay.
that there are going to be people missing.
It just confused me a little.
You know, if we prepared ahead of time, maybe this would. Is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday. Feels like Monday. If we had prepared ahead of time.
But maybe they would have been confused too. I'm confused.
They who?
The masses who were watching.
You're responding to me saying, if we
We're just gonna
prepared
go
ahead
on.
of. Okay. There's more to this principle. First,
Okay.
a righteous man
Back up.
can't back up. There's no rewind button. It's digital. A righteous man knows he is righteous. As a young man, King David was very conscious of his righteousness. David knew that he had clean hands, that he kept the way of the Lord, and that he had neither done wickedly nor departed from God. David was also careful to put the judgments and the statutes of God out in front of his thoughts. Therefore, he said, "Has the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness," in Psalm 18. Now,
We like big words.
repaid, recompensed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, if it were me, and it isn't, or was it? I'm not sure I'd use David as
The token righteousness.
Token righteousness being is how he committed adultery and then had the husband murdered
Right.
the woman. You know, I mean, there's
Job would have
been
probably been a much better option.
I think Job would have been a better option because God Himself says of Job, he's the most upright man.
Right. I mean, it's one of those. Was it Vodi who talks about even, he gives a whole list of people who were strong believers in God, but yet they all still stumbled and and David was at the top of that list.
Yeah. King David, Samson, and Solomon.
Yeah.
All the strongest man in the Bible, the wisest man in the Bible, and I don't know if he said most righteous, but the man in the Bible most after God's own heart,
David.
They all fell into sexual sin.
Right.
So,
yeah,
Job didn't, that we know of. Anyway, so you should.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice. You should read the book of Job. It's a good book. Second principle: a righteous man loves righteousness. The opening stanza of the majestic Psalm 119 makes this statement. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. The Apostle John is even more succinct. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Meaning difficult.
Yeah.
They're not hard to keep.
Yeah, it's not oppressive. It's not. You're doing what God wants.
Isn't going to make your life miserable.
Isn't going to make your life miserable from the act of doing them.
Which I think is what a lot of non-believers feel, is that there are going to be so many rules and so many structured things that we have to adhere to be considered a child of God.
Yeah.
And no.
Yeah, it's like the world hasn't heard of Christian liberty. It's not do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this.
There are religions out there that are like that.
Most religions are like that. Dare I say, virtually all other religions are that way. That's the one of the unique things about Christianity is it doesn't assume that you can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Next, a righteous man resolves to live righteously. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way, says the psalmist. I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person.
Those are some pretty high standards to live by.
They are some pretty high. Well, when you're king. David was king. So, assuming this is a Psalm of David, that's why I said the psalmist and not David, because that's just from Psalm 101. I don't know if that's a Davidic psalm or not, but
I will not know a wicked person. I mean, I don't. I don't know. I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I can claim to try to start my day that way. But I'm not foolish enough to think that I won't stumble in my day.
She will.
Thank you.
I mean, what?
You're there to pick me up.
That's right.
No, I mean, we can strive to walk through our day with a perfect heart.
Mm-hmm. But it's hard, and that's why he says, I will set no wicked thing before my eyes, because it's that temptation to fall into old habits or sins,
right,
or whatnot. And again, if you're king without the internet, then you probably can do a pretty good job of sequestering yourself away. The point is not the ability to do this kind of stuff.
Desire.
Correct. That's exactly right. I think that's probably what he's going to get to in his closing sentence, which is, those who long to be with God long to be like God. And longing to be like God is not the same as being like God.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Because that would not go well for you if you tried to be God. I mean, look at Tower of Babel. Look at, we don't try to. We should not be striving to be equal to God. I don't know where I just went on that.
Well, I mean, I know what you're getting at with that, but the reality is, God says, "Be ye holy, for I am holy," and we're supposed to try to be more Christ-like. We're supposed to all of that, but that's something that is it's not that it's unattainable. Enoch. Okay, Enoch loved God and was taken, because presumably because he perfected himself in some way. But we're to strive to be like God and try, but it's not that it's unattainable. It's that it's not a short-term goal. That's a lifelong goal. Sort of. That's a hard one.
It is.
It's living the Christian walk it's a struggle. It's not a walk in the park, because we are bombarded on all sides almost all the time by things that desire to pull us away from that.
Yeah.
And us probably more so even than David. I mean, I mentioned the internet earlier kind of flippantly, but easy access to things that would draw us away is one of the curses of our day.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of things, whether it's through being turned towards sexual sin or other things, but there's so many things on the internet that also distract us and become idols and just pull us away from God. Yeah. Do you want to keep that on our screen?
Oh, no, I can get rid of it.
Thanks.
What do you want me to put up there? Just us?
Sure.
Here we are.
Yay. No, that verse reminds me a lot of, I think it's a psalm as well as a song.
Are you really just referring to the verse you had me remove
I
off
did.
the screen?
No, it wasn't the verse. It was part of there at the end of longing to be like God, to be able to be with God. There's a psalm, and I believe it's a psalm as well as a song. It's at least a verse of create in me a clean heart. Search me.
Yeah, search me, know me.
And that's the song that I have in my heart. It's search in my head. Is search me, know me.
Yeah.
But it's a daily thing. It's
Create in me a heart that's clean.
Yeah, cleanse me of all unrighteousness.
Yeah.
Because things creep into our lives, things creep into our hearts and into our minds without us seeking them. That can still happen, and that's when if we're being if we're not being made aware of it, if we're not keeping it in check ourselves, it's calling on God to do that for us, to scan me and make sure I'm still living right, and if not, put a block up to not give me the desire to seek other things other than God.
Right.
Whether it's Him just casting that from our mind or putting people in our lives to hold us accountable, to be a clean spirit. But there are some things out there that distract us from God that are a daily challenge. So praying for God to keep you clear of that, praying for Him daily to come in and just search us. Now, it's a very humbling thing to say, search my heart, Lord.
Yeah. Because we all know what we have hidden in
there. Yeah. Even if we don't admit it to ourselves or to other people, it can, you can say you've got things tapped down and under control.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Thank you, Dr. Morris.
I'm sure he'd say thank you, or you're welcome.
He probably would.
He's busy celebrating with the Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard a great, so my weakness is scrolling reels, as I'm sure many people, I'd like to hope many people out there do the same thing, but I get lost in them. And one of them yesterday was, this is what heaven must sound like. And it was a big concert doing Holy is the Lord. It's Michael W. Smith's, I forgot the name of it.
Agnes Day?
Yeah. And it's holy is the Lord, holy is the Lord, holy, holy are you, Lord. That one, I'm totally off key, but it's like no band, and it was just, I think it was it was a pretty popular concert, so there were a lot of people there, and it was just a cappella singing "Holy, Holy Are You, Lord God Almighty."
Yep.
And it was just, and you could tell people weren't singing it loudly; they were singing it reverently. But there were so many people.
So many people that
it was
so
just
powerful, yeah.
echoing and just going off the rafters, and it was just such an amazing. You think sometimes of the. You'll see images of people in a hotel that has the big open atrium, and people just lining the balconies of the atrium singing "Holy, Holy, Holy," and it's just that beautiful echoing of our reverence, and just it's just amazing.
Never gets old.
Yeah.
Better not ever get old.
All right, so we're early.
We're early. Anything you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. I don't have anything to talk about.
So we do have a fun thing. He's coming up with a new idea for a new book.
Oh.
It's kind of exciting. So we've got our searching the word, we've got our coloring the word, we've got tracing the word, we've got journaling the word. Coming up with a couple ideas. Our daughter asked us recently, kind of like a slow down. You're putting everything out at one time.
What are you going to do next year if you keep doing everything this year?
So he's got some things working in his head.
So, yeah, well,
some other board games.
What are you going to do next?
It's kind of exciting. We've got, I think, 2 more ideas at this point that we can do. So we're working on getting things ready for our conference in August. I think we found out yesterday we have 81 days until we leave.
Yeah.
But hoping to get some of our products into some local bookstores, or I guess bookstores around the country.
Yeah, local to them.
Yeah, local to them. So
mom and pop stores and things like that.
We're excited about that.
The Christian Products Expo. If you're going to be at the Christian Products Expo in Duluth, Georgia this summer, stop by and say hey.
Hey, I'll stop by.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll say hey.
Okay.
Can I get a ride with you from the hotel?
Sure.
Okay, good.
You can even ride with me from here. It's going to be a long drive.
Anyway.
So let us know if there's anything we can pray for you about. That's one of, we'd sit here and we do devotions. It's something to fill our time. But our desire is to just kind of come beside people in their walks and just shore each other up. I know that there have been so many times in Bible studies where, and I know it's happened to me as well as to some other ladies that I've done them with, where you just don't want to be there that night, and God puts you there anyway, and it turns into one of those moments of realizing that we're to share our burdens.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things we can internalize, and we tend to internalize. But when you let it out, and it's not that whoever you let it out to can solve your problem, but sometimes putting it out there makes it easier to handle.
Hey, a burden shared is a burden lightened.
Yeah. And just having other people praying over you. Again, it's not that anybody else that we're talking to can fix it, because some of our issues that we go through can't immediately be fixed. But there's comfort in knowing people are thinking about you and praying for you and talking to God on your behalf. That's a pretty amazing thing. So that's my desire, is just to walk through life with you and share burdens with you. So if there's anything we can pray over for you, please feel free to drop a comment or email us at praywithme@the4031family, or Seth at, or Tammy at the4031family.com.
Yeah. That's good.
You just want to wrap it up? I don't know what else to talk about.
I don't have
Last
any...
couple days we've been like on the wire. We got to stop.
Right.
Yesterday we were even a little late, I think. So.
But today is kind of a...
Yeah. It's Tuesday. It's a
Monday.
weird day. All right. So obviously we have multiple platforms in our comment description.
Rumble,
here.
YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah. Go like us. Go share us. We would love to just kind of splinter out into the multiple corners of the
share,
world.
follow, love,
Yep.
pin. If you put us on your Pinterest.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think you can.
I don't know if you can.
No, but you could encourage people.
Who knows?
Whatever.
I don't know. Also, if we do have the buymeacoffee.com/the 4031 family, if you are interested in supporting us with just a little gift, we would greatly appreciate it. If you become a monthly member through that, we also send you a coupon worth the value of whatever you happen to help us with.
Yeah.
And you'll get some goodies from us and stuff in appreciation for that. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today for the 4031 family. I'm Seth.
I'm Tammy.
He's God.
And we're not.
Have a great afternoon.
Have a great day, guys.
Have
We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Rest of your day.
Yeah.
And we'll see you tomorrow morning. She got ahead of me.
I did. See you tomorrow.
Bye.